All right, a Fox News alert right now. New Jersey's Lieutenant Governor Kim Guadagno is speaking right now, denying the new allegations that came out over the weekend against embattled Governor Chris Christie. Well, now the mayor of Hoboken, and that's what she was responding to, the Lieutenant Governor, Dawn Zimmer, claims that her city was denied Superstorm Sandy recovery money because she refused to approve a development project that the governor's office was in favor of. She claims that it was an ultimatum and that it came through the lieutenant governor from Governor Christie. But Guadagno just moments ago, as I said, saying these allegations are false, that they're illogical, and that they will not withstand scrutiny of the facts in this case. So this is the first response that we've heard from Governor Christie's office on this. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani over the weekend called the whole thing a witch hunt by Democrats, pointing out that the head of the state legislative committee investigating the bridge lane closing, following all this, has all but convicted the governor already. Here's what Rudy Giuliani said.
When you announce before you even investigate it, you don't believe the subject of the investigation or the person who's the ultimate focus of the investigation. It would seem to me the assemblyman has an ethical obligation to step down, to recuse himself. He's no longer an impartial arbiter of the facts. I mean, he's announced he doesn't believe Governor Christie.
All right, so let's do this one at a time. Joined now by Karl Rove, former senior advisor and deputy chief of staff to President George W. Bush and a Fox News contributor, and former Massachusetts Senator Scott Brown, a Fox News contributor as well. Gentlemen, welcome. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
So let's break this down a little bit because there's a lot that's in the mix here. But I want to first address, and maybe Senator Brown, you could start with this, the comment by Rudy Giuliani that Wisniewski should not be leading this investigation because he has already said that he doesn't believe the governor on the bridge lane closure issue.
Well, I agree with him. When you have somebody who's a former head of the Democratic Party who has been rumored to want to run for governor, has an opportunity now to really stick it to the present governor and gain points, I think it's inappropriate. Most importantly, you have a situation here, and I thought it would happen when this first came out, where every little thing the governor's done, every denial, every canceled meeting, every little thing is going to be questioned. As a governor, you have to make tough decisions, and you have to balance the pros and cons of every decision. And they're just going to keep digging and digging and keep him on the defense because he's a front runner for president.
All right, and they're starting to fight back again in another round this morning. You just heard what the lieutenant governor had to say. Let's listen. We have the Kim Zimmer shot here to play for Karl. All right, let's take a look at this.
Well, again, I mean, I had to, basically almost set aside what she said to me because it is unbelievable, but it's true. It's true, and I'm coming forward, and I just didn't feel that we were going to be able to get the funding. I was concerned that people weren't going to believe me. I mean, it's stunning. It's outrageous, but it's true, and I stand by my word.
All right, so now the lieutenant governor, just to back up here, Karl, as we said, that the charge is that the lieutenant governor came to Hoboken and told the mayor, who you just saw on the screen there, that in order to get the funding that she wanted after Sandy, that they should move forward on the Rockefeller project, that it was a big deal, that it was important to the governor, and that they should do that. We just heard the lieutenant governor saying that's absolutely not true. What say you?
Right. Well, we earlier had a categorical denial from the governor's office itself. Look, a couple of things here. First of all, the mayor's credibility is a little suspect. In August, she tweeted, we're very glad that Governor Christie has been our governor. Last week on television, she categorically denied that there was any link between these funds that she's seeking and the endorsement, said there was no effort to hold up the funds. And let's also talk about the funds themselves. We're talking here about a $100 million grant that she wants for flood development that comes out of a special pot of federal money that's $400 million. And the communities in New Jersey have applied for $1.8 billion in funds. So there are more applications for this money than there is money. And this is money that is not at the beck and call of the governor. The state has a role to play in this, but the final decision as to who's going to get this money and how much they're going to get is going to be made in Washington, not in Trenton, be made by the Obama administration, not the Christie administration. So we'll see the facts roll out here, but we've now got two categorical denials from the president, and we've got a mayor from Hoboken who was one place last week and is another place today.
Yeah, and it's worth pointing out also that Hoboken, we went back, They got $70 million in Sandy Relief Fund, and then another tranche of $4.3 million from FEMA. And as you point out, Carl, this was sort of preventative funds that the federal government was going to hand out to help these, communities along the Jersey Shore and also in New York to put in things that would help them the next time something like this happened. There was a huge influx of requests for this money, and it came down to them wanting about a third of what was available, which was $300 million, and that was one of the big issues that came up here. Scott Brown, what do you think about this whole thing? Politically, how's this looking for Governor Christie?
Well, obviously, somebody in his administration screwed up, and he stood up and accepted responsibility, fired them, and has dealt with it, I think, professionally and ethically. And obviously, we need to have a neutral arbiter of facts to try to figure out, if there's anything more. If there's not, then we should move on. But when you compare it to what's happening in the Obama administration with Benghazi, the IRS, Fast and Furious, the disastrous rollout of Obamacare, it pales in comparison. And yet they're working overtime in New Jersey, and yet they're doing hardly anything here in Washington. It's really kind of laughable.
Yeah, Carl, a lot of questions raised about whether or not the governor is experiencing some political payback here as well. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was out at a podium during the governor's meetings in Florida, lambasting him, essentially.
Well, we could expect this. Look, we have a broad field for 2016 on the Republican side. Arguably, right now, Chris Christie is the leader of that field, and Democrats are looking at the polls showing him within spitting distance or slightly ahead of or slightly behind Hillary Clinton, and they want to dust him up, and they've got an opportunity to do so by, as Senator Brown pointed out, the actions of a couple of his staffers who acted inappropriately. But look, we're a long way between now and 2016, and we're also, the further away from the George Washington Bridge you get, the more people are looking at the points that Senator Brown mentioned. The Governor Christie stepped up, took responsibility, fired the people responsible, and apologized. And people run up to me in airports and say and talk about it. And one of the things that sticks in their mind is that he actually went to Fort Lee, New Jersey, apologized personally to the mayor and to the people of the city for having their community adversely affected.
All right, we'll see. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Great to have you with us this morning. Carl Rove and Senator Scott Brown. We'll see you both next time.